There is a secret craving every man has that he will almost never tell you about because he is terrified. That saying it out loud will make him look weak or lazy or unmanly, but I am going to tell you exactly what it is right now, because understanding this one thing is the key to unlocking a level of passion and connection in your relationship that most couples only dream of having. We need to talk about the moment the lights go down and the door closes, and why he is absolutely desperate for you to take the steering wheel. Look, I know what the script says, because we have all read the same fairy tales and watched the same movies since we were 5 years old, where the script says the man is the hunter and the woman is the prize, and in the early stages of dating, that dynamic serves a purpose because it shows his interest and it proves he is willing to put in the effort to win your attention. But here is the massive problem with that script when it bleeds into your long-term intimacy. If he is always the one initiating, if he is always the one making the first move, if he is always the one risking rejection to get things started, eventually the narrative in his head shifts from I am pursuing this amazing woman to I am the only one who wants this. That is the killer. That is the silent romance killer that creeps into bedrooms all over the world. When you take control, when you decide that tonight you are going to be the one to push him onto the bed or whisper something cheeky in his ear while you are still at dinner, you are doing something psychologically profound for him. You are removing the burden of performance. You have to understand that for most men, intimacy is a performance art where they feel constantly evaluated. Am I doing it right? Is she enjoying it? Did I last long enough? Is this working? It is a constant internal monologue of anxiety. But the second you take the lead, the second you grab his shirt and pull him in, that anxiety vanishes because your action tells him something that words never could. Your action tells him that he is desired, not just tolerated, not just loved in a sweet companionate way, but physically and urgently wanted. That is a drug to men. It is the highest form of validation he can get. When you take control, you are flipping a switch in his brain that goes from, I hope she says yes, to, oh my God, she has to have me. It changes his entire physiology. I have guys come to me all the time and say, Matt, I love my wife, she is my best friend, but I feel like a pest every time I try to get things going. They feel like a door-to-door salesman trying to sell a vacuum cleaner to someone who already has one. It is not that she says no, it is that she never says yes first. When you flip that dynamic, even just 20% of the time, you are telling him that he is the prize. You are telling him that he still has that magnetic pull that drew you in at the beginning. And let's be honest about what taking control actually looks like, because I think a lot of women get in their head about this and think they have to go out and buy a leather outfit and a whip and become a different person. That is not what I am talking about, unless that is your vibe, in which case power to you. I am talking about the energy of certainty. I'm talking about the difference between waiting for the rain and being the storm. When you initiate, you are the storm. You are the force of nature that happens to him. Think about how exhausting it is to always be the driver in the car. You have to watch the road, check the mirrors, watch your speed, look out for other drivers. It is work. Sometimes he just wants to be the passenger. He wants to sit back, close his eyes, and let you drive the car for a few miles. He wants to know that if he let go of the wheel, the car wouldn't just stop rolling. When you take control, you are proving that the momentum of your love life does not rest entirely on his shoulders. You are sharing the weight of the desire. And that is incredibly sexy. It is sexy because confidence is sexy. There is nothing hotter than a woman who knows what she wants and isn't afraid to ask for it or take it. When you are passive, you are essentially saying, I am okay with whatever happens. When you are active, when you take control, you are saying, I want this specific thing with you right now. That specificity makes him feel special. It makes him feel like he is the only man on earth who could satisfy you in that moment. And let's get real for a second about the slang we use for this stuff. We talk about hitting a home run or scoring or whatever silly sports metaphors men use in the locker room. But the reality is that for a man, the victory isn't the act itself. The victory is the feeling of being surrendered to you. When you take control, you are paradoxically allowing him to surrender. You are allowing him to let go of the need to be the stoic, strong leader for 5 minutes and just be a creature of sensation. You are giving him a vacation from his masculinity while simultaneously reinforcing it. It is a beautiful contradiction. He gets to feel like a man because you want him so bad, but he doesn't have to do the work of being the man to make it happen. You are doing the work. You are setting the pace. You are deciding the rhythm, and I promise you there is not a man alive who doesn't secretly fantasize about his partner walking through the door with that look in her eyes that says, I am in charge tonight, and you are just going to have to hold on for the ride. It creates a memory for him. It creates a highlight reel in his mind that he will replay when he is stuck in traffic or sitting in a boring meeting. He will think back to that Tuesday night when you didn't wait for him to make a move, where you just decided that the movie you're watching was boring and he was interesting. That creates anticipation. It makes him wonder when it is going to happen again. It keeps the spark alive not by magic, but by the intentional application of unpredictable desire. You become a mystery again. You are no longer just the wife or the girlfriend or the partner who follows his lead. You are a wild card. You are a dangerous woman in the best possible way. And men love a little bit of danger. We love the feeling that we don't have this fully figured out. If he knows that every time you get intimate, it will be because he initiated it at 10 p.m. on a Saturday. That is comfortable, but it is not exciting. If he knows that you might jump him while he is doing the dishes, that is exciting. That is living on the edge. So why do we hesitate? Why is this so hard to do? Because we have been conditioned to think that female desire should be responsive. We have been told that men are the gas pedal and women are the brakes. But that is a lie. That is a lie that keeps us in mediocre relationships. You have a gas pedal too, and sometimes you need to floor it. You need to show him that your engine runs just as hot as his does. When you do that, you give him permission to be even more open with you. You create a safe space where his desires aren't too much because clearly yours are right there matching them. You level the playing field. You turn intimacy from a transaction where he asks and you grant into a collaboration where you both collide. And that collision, that crash of two people both wanting the same thing at the same time with equal intensity, that is where the fireworks are. That is where the magic happens. So I want you to delete the old program that says being aggressive is unladylike. In the context of intimacy with the man you love, aggression is just another word for enthusiasm. And enthusiasm is the most attractive trait on the planet. Now that we have established why his brain absolutely melts when you take the reins, let's get down to the brass tacks of how you actually execute this without feeling awkward or like you are trying to be someone you are not, because the last thing I want is for you to put on a performance that feels fake. This has to come from a place of authentic desire, or he is going to smell the inauthenticity a mile away. The first thing you need to understand is that taking control starts way before you get to the bedroom. It starts with the eyes. You know that look. I know you know it. It is that look that holds his gaze just a second longer than is polite. It is the look that drops down to his lips and then back up to his eyes. When you do that, you are signaling intent. You are priming the pump. You are letting him know that the atmosphere has changed. You can do this when you are out at a restaurant or just sitting on the couch watching Netflix. You don't have to say a word. You just look at him with that hungry intensity. It makes him nervous in a good way. It makes him wonder what you are thinking. And then you follow it up with touch, but not the soft, gentle pat on the back touch. I am talking about possessive touch. When you walk past him, run your hand across his shoulders with a little bit of weight, squeeze his arm. Let him feel your strength. Taking control is about inhabiting your body and making your presence felt. When you decide to make the move, don't ask for permission. Do not say, can we go upstairs, or are you in the mood? Questions kill the vibe because questions engage the logical brain. You want to bypass his logic and go straight to his primitive brain. Instead of asking, state what is going to happen. Whisper in his ear and tell him exactly what you want to do to him. Use language that is direct. Tell him, I have been thinking about you all day and I need you right now. The word need is powerful. It suggests an uncontrollability that is incredibly flattering. When you move things to the physical space, be the one who directs the geography. If he usually stands on the left, you stand on the left. If he usually initiates the kiss, you grab his face and kiss him first. These micro adjustments is the usual routine scream that you are in charge. And let's talk about the energy in the room. Usually he might be the one setting the pace, maybe rushing things a bit or maybe being slow. You dictate the speed. If he tries to speed up, you slow him down. Put your hand on his chest and physically slow the rhythm. This is a massive power move. It says, I'm enjoying this and we are doing this on my time. It shows him that you are savoring him. It drives men wild because it teases them. It builds that tension that is essential for a great release. You can also take control by restricting his movement, pin his hands down, push him back against the sofa. It doesn't have to be wrestling match aggressive, just enough to show him that he is your captive for the next 20 minutes. This role reversal is potent because he is physically stronger than you usually. So when he lets you pin him, it is an act of trust and submission on his part that bonds you together. He is letting you win, and you are enjoying the victory. Another way to take control is to be the one who initiates the changes. If you want to switch things up, don't wait for him to suggest it. You move your body. You guide his hands. You show him where to touch you. Most men are desperate for a map. We are fumbling around in the dark half, the time hoping we are hitting the right spots. When you take his hand and place it exactly where you want it and move it how you want it moved, you are not just taking control. You are giving him a cheat sheet. You are guaranteeing his success. And a man who feels successful is a man who wants to keep playing the game. Don't be afraid to use your voice. And I don't mean just the usual noises. I mean giving instructions. Tell him slower. Tell him harder. Tell him right there. The command tone is something he likely hears from his boss or his parents, never from his lover. When his lover uses a command tone, it short-circuits his brain. It mixes authority with intimacy in a way. That is explosive. It creates a container where he doesn't have to think, he just has to obey. And for a man who spends his whole day making decisions, the freedom of obedience is bliss. You can also use the element of surprise. The element of surprise is your best friend when taking control. If he is expecting the usual Tuesday night routine, flip the script. Initiate at a time he doesn't expect. Wake him up in the middle of the night. Corner him in the kitchen while the pasta is boiling. The context of the initiation matters just as much as the initiation itself. By taking control outside of the bedroom, you blur the lines of where intimacy begins and ends. You make the whole house a potential zone for connection. And let's address the outfit thing. You don't need a costume, but wearing something that makes you feel powerful is key. If you feel like a boss in a certain set of lingerie, wear it. If you feel like a boss in one of his oversized shirts, wear that. It is about your internal state. If you feel submissive and shy, you will project that. If you feel like a queen who is about to survey her kingdom, he will feel that royalty and he will bow down. It is a mindset shift. You have to believe, even for just 30 minutes, that you are the most desirable creature on the planet and that he is lucky to be in your presence. Fake it if you have to at first. Put on the mask of the seductress. Eventually, the mask becomes the face. You will realize that you actually do have this power. It was dormant, but it was there. And the more you exercise this muscle, the stronger it gets. The first time you push him onto the bed, it might feel clumsy. You might giggle. That is okay. Giggle, laugh about it. But stay on top. Don't retreat. The awkwardness is just the tension of breaking a habit. Push through it. Once you get past that initial barrier of, oh my God, I am acting weird, you enter the flow state. And in that flow state, you will find a version of yourself that is bolder, freer, and much more satisfied. Because here is the secret bonus of taking control when you are in the driver's seat. You get to drive to the destination you want. You prioritize your pleasure. You set the rhythm that works for your body. And he learns by watching and feeling. You are teaching him how to please you by pleasing yourself using his body as the instrument. It is the most effective communication workshop you will ever attend. So don't think of it as a performance for him. Think of it as seizing the moment for yourself. When you prioritize your own pleasure, he gets turned on by your enjoyment. It is a positive feedback loop. The more you take, the more he wants to give. We have to talk about the elephant in the room, which is the fear that stops you from doing this. I hear it from women every single day. Matt, what if I make a move and he rejects me? What if I come on too strong and he thinks I am desperate? What if it is just awkward? These fears are valid, but they are also complete nonsense in the grand scheme of a loving relationship. Let's look at the rejection piece. If you initiate and he says no, it is almost never because he doesn't want you. It is because he is tired, he is stressed, he has a stomach ache, or his head is somewhere else. Men are human beings, not robots with an on switch. If he says not tonight, it is not a referendum on your desirability. It is just a timing issue. You cannot let one no stop you from asking again next week. If you stop initiating forever because of one rejection, you are punishing the relationship for a moment of humanity. You have to have the resilience to say, okay, he's lost tonight, I'll get him tomorrow. That resilience is confidence. And regarding the fear of looking desperate, let me be crystal clear. Wanting your partner is not desperation. It is affection. It is passion. Desperation is needing validation from a stranger. Passion is desiring connection with the person you chose. He is not going to think you are desperate. He is going to think he is the luckiest man alive because his woman actually wants him. Do you know how many men sit in my office complaining that their wives never touch them? Millions. You initiating puts you in the top 1% of partners instantly. You are solving a problem he didn't even know how to articulate. And let's talk about the fear of being too much. We live in a world that tells women to be small, to be quiet, to take up less space. Taking control in the bedroom is about taking up space. It is about being loud. It is about being too much. And guess what? Too much is exactly enough for the right man. If you are worried about overwhelming him, good, overwhelm him. Let him drown in your affection for a bit. He can handle it. He wants to be overwhelmed. He wants to be swept away. The mundanity of life is boring. Work is boring. Paying bills is boring. He wants you to be the tsunami that washes all that boring stuff away. So be too much, be extra, be intense. That intensity is the glue that holds you together when things get tough. When you have that physical bond where you can both take control, you build a level of trust that is unbreakable. You are trusting him to respect your power, and he is trusting you to lead him safely. That is profound. It heals things. It heals the little resentments that build up over whose turn it is to do the dishes. It reminds you both that at the core of this partnership are two people who are crazy about each other. And I want to address the long-term couples specifically. If you have been together for 10, 20 years, you might think that ship has sailed. You might think we have our routine and it works. But routine is the enemy of desire. Desire needs friction. It needs a little bit of uncertainty. When you decide to take control after years of being passive, you are reintroducing that friction. You are shocking the system. He might look at you with wide eyes like, who is this woman? And that is exactly what you want. You want him to rediscover you. You want to introduce him to the other versions of yourself that have been hiding. You are not just one woman. You are a multitude. You are the sweet nurturer, yes, but you are also the vixen, the boss, the seductress. Let those other characters come out to play. It keeps the marriage young. It keeps the energy vibrant. You are never too old, and it is never too late to change the dynamic. Start small if you have to. Just one night next week, make a plan. Visualization helps. See it in your mind. See yourself walking up to him. See yourself taking his hand. Feel the confidence before you even do it, and then just count to 3 and go. 1, 2, 3, action. Don't give your brain time to talk you out of it. Just move. Your body knows what to do even if your mind is freaking out. And afterwards, watch him. Watch the smile on his face. Watch the bounce in his step the next morning. That is your trophy. That is your proof that you did the right thing. You fed his soul in a way that a cooked meal or a tidy house never could. You gave him the gift of being wanted. And in return, you get a man who is more attentive, more affectionate, and more devoted. It is the best investment you can make. So I challenge you. I challenge you to be the one who lights the match this week. Stop waiting for him to build the fire. You build it, you light it. And watch how quickly he runs to get warm. You have the power. You have always had the power. You just stopped using it for a while. Pick it back up. Wield it. Enjoy it. Because intimacy is supposed to be fun. It is supposed to be a playground. So go play. Take the lead. And show him exactly why he fell in love with you in the first place. You got this. Now go make it happen.